So I'll say right out of the gate, Denethor killed Theoden. What a mean-spirited man. It's not quite that simple though, is it? But we'll recount the story in just a moment, and I'll give my reasons as to why he did what he did, and what could have happened if Gandalf had chosen differently. Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. This is Gone with Gandalf, and every single Friday I do these lore videos. So if you like this kind of content, then do like and subscribe because I'm always here. And well, I'm wearing a hat because it's still cold in here and I can't turn the radiator on because it's got like acid coming out of it or something, and I now realise why it's in here and not in a functioning room. So, at the gate of Minas Tirith, at the height of the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, you have the Witch King versus Gandalf the White. Who would have won? I don't know. Well, I mean, I feel like Gandalf would have won, but that's not the point of this video. But what happened was, to kind of stop this duel from happening, was a cockerel crowed signifying the dawn, and at that point also the riders of Rohan emerged upon the fields. Now, this point, then the Witch King kind of goes away and marshals his forces to kind of go and confront this new threat. And Gandalf is whispering to Shadowfax about to like go and meet or continue the duel elsewhere. But Pippin comes up and says, Gandalf, you really want to come and check this out? Denethor's gone mad and he's going to burn Faramir. So Gandalf's like really anxious. He wants to get out there, face the Witch King, because he knows bad stuff is going to happen if he is allowed to roam free, which it does. But he then kind of, he's like, okay, let's go and save Fararmir. So this is kind of the point of this video, because had he chosen differently, perhaps Theoden would not have died. And this is all due to the madness of Denethor, okay? Gandalf is pissed that he has to go and deal with Denethor's madness. And he has to tell him, like, do not burn your son. That's not good for the longevity of the realm. And that's going to kill off your line. He's your only heir. That's a stupid thing to do. Go and burn yourself if you really want to. And he did. Now, imagine if Gandalf had instead gone after the Witch King. What could have happened there? Well, I reckon they could have maybe had kind of the formation of the duel that everyone wanted to see happen out in the field. Instead of at the gate of Minas Tirith, you could have had it out in the field, and then you wouldn't have had King Theoden die. But, and this is an important but, what else wouldn't have happened? Well, you wouldn't have had Eowyn and her heroic struggle against the Witch King. Perhaps the Witch King would have defeated Gandalf, and you still would have had that kind of duel between Eowyn and the Witch King. But then you would have also missed out on Merry's involvement. And the hobbits in the Lord of the Rings, they are kind of like the, they're not like the main plot point, but they're kind of the fab or the thread that holds it all together and kind of makes it feel a bit more real, because they are the most insignificant characters available, and yet they do these heroic deeds. Frodo and Sam, of course, they destroy the One Ring. Pippin, of course, he is more of a comic character, but he does some things like looking into the Palantir. Then he also saves Faramir somewhat, as in this instance, and I think he's also the one that kills a troll at the Black Gate. And then Merry, this is his time to shine, because as the prophecy goes from Glorfindel way back when, during the fall of Angmar, he said no living man will kill the Witch King, okay? So neither Merry nor Eowyn, neither of those two are actually men. I mean, you can make the kind of argument that, well, hobbits are men, but I mean, he's a hobbit. Let's just say he's not a man, okay? I'm sure he's very, well endowed. The bottom line is that you need Merry to be an integral part of this part of the storyline to give you that oomph. So he, of course, is the one that stabs the Witch King behind the knee with the blade of Westerness from the Barrow Downs, and that is what allows Eowyn to come and go stabby stabby in the face, okay? And that is the Witch King and the captain of Sauron completely and utterly destroyed. But now that I think about it, perhaps Merry could have had a similar role in a Gandalf versus Witch King duel, where Gandalf and the Witch King, I don't know how they would have done it, but at a point where you think Gandalf might need some help, I don't think he would have, but then maybe or Merry just comes in with another stabby against the knee or toe of the Witch King. If Eowyn had not been involved in this struggle, she wouldn't have been injured. She, of course, broke her arm and things like that. So she wouldn't have gone to the Houses of Healing. And it's in the Houses of Healing that she meets Faramir and they fall in love. She gets over her unrequited love for Aragorn, and she moves on with her life and becomes like the wife of the Steward of Gondor in later years. So had this not happened as it did, she would not have felt perhaps sated. She would have still carried on. She may have gone to the Black Gate because she's still like kind of got this feeling like, oh, I just want to go and fight until I die because I can't have Aragorn. And perhaps she would have died there, and you would have lost what would have happened in the future. And I don't just mean this in the future in terms of the alliance between Gondor and Rohan. You'd have also just, well, yeah, you would have lost the line of stewards perhaps, or you would have just picked, I mean, Faramir probably would have just picked someone else. And then on the other side, you have Pippin and Beregond. Beregond was one of the guards of the Citadel, so he's only present in the books, but he plays like an integral part. In the films, his position is largely merged with Pippin's, okay? So he helps Pippin to basically uncover the madness of Denethor and to save Faramir, because they're both devoted to him, and he's great. Now, I do not believe that Pippin and Beregond could have overcome the guards of Denethor and stop the burning of Faramir from happening, because I think Beregond already killed one guard, and then there were still a few on the inside. There were at least 2 or 3, I think, plus Denethor himself. So Pippin and Beregond, they would not have been able to do that. What could have happened instead is that Pippin, he could have come down and met Prince Imrahil, the Prince of Dol Amroth, who of course is the uncle of Faramir. Now, when Gandalf and Pippin, they're running or riding upon Shadowfax back up the levels of Minas Tirith, they kind of ride past Imrahil, saying like, where are you going, lads? And you go, oh, I've got some big stuff going on, don't worry about it, you guys go out on the field and we'll come right back in just a moment. So Pippin could have just gone to him instead, and perhaps you could have had Imrahil versus Denethor instead of Gandalf versus Denethor, although I don't know how that quite would have gone. That would have been like some kind of Family Feud-esque type thing where you've got brother-in-laws going at each other. So all in all, did Theoden get killed by Denethor? Well, kind of. I mean, what can Gandalf really have done to save Theoden? Theoden was killed by his horse falling over in shock and horror at the approaching fell beast and the Nazgul upon it. So there's not really a whole lot he could have done, because sometimes horses do that and they're unpredictable. But one thing is for certain, that Pippin did save Faramir, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed this what if scenario, and you can kind of give a think about events that you already knew which happened, giving like a new light upon the story that we all so love. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and if you've got any comments, any suggestions, pop them down in the comment section below. But for now, I'm going to Gandalf. Good day.